More recently, focus on children with special needs has been heightened with the issuances from the Department of Education and the legislative branch of government stipulating the necessity of addressing the concerns of children with special needs. This indicates that the population of this group of children in the educational system is growing and necessarily need attention. This chapter identifies the different types of special needs, such as cognitive or academic, social or behavioral, cognitive and social functioning, physical and sensory, and advanced cognitive development. This chapter also describes the behavior or characteristics of these children with special needs. Due to advancement and expertise in technology, it is now much easier than before to assess and identify who the children with special needs are, especially if these children with special needs are mainstream in regular classrooms. A basic knowledge of the nature of special needs, which is provided in this chapter, would be very helpful, especially for teachers who do not have special education as a field of specialization. Perhaps, even in many occasions, you may have noticed children who acted, behave, or talk in a manner that is distinctly different from the way other children do. These actions or behaviors that you have observed may be remarkable enough to make you think that they are indeed different from the other children you usually encounter. They are children or students with special needs. These children have special challenges that a normal individual or students would not face. The special needs of these children fall along a continuum such that some children can stay in regular classrooms, but some require special care and intervention at home or in school. This means that teachers have to be extra flexible and creative in coming up with teaching techniques that will enhance the academic and personal development of students who are quite different in many ways from the majority of the students' population. It is important for teachers, school officials, caregivers, and other school personnel to know the characteristics of the special children. It is equally important not to stereotype children with special needs. Following are the general and specific categories of students with special needs, as found by different researchers and which have been summarized by Armrod by the year 2003 and Nielsen by the year 2002. So first, those with specific cognitive and academic difficulties. Second, those with social or behavioral problems. Third, those with general delays in cognitive and social functioning. Fourth, those with physical or sensory challenges. And the last one, those with advanced cognitive development. About the different types of disability under the specific cognitive or academic difficulties and indicative behaviors. First disability is the learning disabilities. Learning disabilities are difficulties in the cognitive processes such as perception, language, and memory, but are not attributed or caused by other disabilities like mental retardation, emotional or behavioral disorders, etc., and the like. Following are the characteristics of children with cognitive and academic difficulties. First is the perceptual difficulty. These are the difficulty in understanding or remembering information. Next is the memory difficulty. Last, capacity for remembering information received either short or long term. Next, metacognitive difficulty. These are difficulty in using effective learning strategies, monitoring the progress of their learning goals, and the other ways of directing their own learning. Next is the difficulty in processing oral language. These are the difficulty in understanding spoken language and remembering what has been told or spoken. Next is reading difficulty. These are the trouble in recognizing printed words or comprehending what was read. Next is written language difficulty. Problems in handwriting, spelling, or expressing oneself coherently in paper. Next is the mathematical difficulty. Trouble thinking about or remembering information involving numbers. The last difficulty is the difficulty with social perception. These are the difficulty interpreting social cues and signals from other people. Next is the attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder or ADHD. With ADHD, there is difficulty in focusing and maintaining attention and in many cases characterized by hyperactive and impulsive behaviors. It is possible that this difficulty has biological and genetic basis. Following are the common characteristics of children with ADHD. First, often inattentive. Difficulty focusing and maintaining attention and following directions. Often make careless mistakes, have a very short attention span and cannot focus. Easily fail in tests requiring sustained mental effort and are distracted by highly appealing alternatives. Next is the hyperactive. Seem to have extra and high levels of energy and move around much of the time. Have difficulty working or playing quietly. The last one is the impulsive. Often display inappropriate behaviors, blurt out answers, or interrupt others without being asked. Begin doing something without waiting for instructions. Have trouble waiting their turn. Engage in risky or distracted behaviors without thinking of consequences. The last disability that under the specific cognitive or academic difficulties and indicative behaviors is the speech and communication disorders. These are impairments in spoken language or communication, such as stuttering, mispronunciation, and comprehension. The difficulties are articulation problems, shattering, abnormal syntactic patterns, and difficulty understanding the speech of others, all of which are likely to interfere with academic performance. Following are the characteristics of children with speech and communication disorders. Usually, these children have difficulties in reading and writing. They are also self-conscious, also embarrassed when talking, and reluctant to speak. Next to disability is under in social and behavioral problems and behavioral indicators. First, disability is the emotional or behavioral disorders. An emotional and behavioral disorder is an emotional disability characterized by the following: inability to build or maintain satisfactory interpersonal relationship with people, inability to learn which cannot be adequately explained by intellectual, sensory, or health factors. And the last disability that under in the social and behavioral problems and behavioral indicators is the autism. According to experts, it is a condition that is caused by a brain abnormality. This is a disability marked by impairment in social interactions. Individuals with autism prefer to be alone and form weak emotional attachments. Children with autism have not developed the basic social skills. Their social cognition is impaired. Thus, they are not able to interpret social situations accurately. Thus, the tendency to behave inappropriately. However, they have strong attachment to inanimate objects. Physically, they have abnormal movements like awkward way of walking, repetitive gestures like wringing of the hands. On the other hand, they have strong visual spatial thinking skills. Following are the characteristics of children with autism. They engage in obsessively repetitive movement activities. They are self-abusive, like banging their heads, slapping, or biting themselves. Unusual responses to sensory inputs. They are withdrawn and do not communicate at all, and they exhibit abnormal responses to objects. This disability is under in the delays in cognitive and social functioning and behavioral indicators. Mental retardation. This is a condition of significantly below average general intelligence as well as deficits in social and practical intelligence and adaptive behavior. This is often caused by genetic conditions. The following are the common characteristics of students with developmental delays. They have a desire to belong and fit in at school. They have less general knowledge about the world, and they have poor reading and language skills. Following are the disability that under in the physical and sensory challenges and behavioral indicators. First, disability is the physical and health impairments. These are general, physical and medical conditions, usually long-term, that interfere with school performance. In this category have limited energy and strength, mental alertness or little muscle control. Following are the common characteristics or indicators of physical and sensory challenges. Their learning ability is similar to that of non-disabled students. They have fewer opportunities to experience and interact with outside world in educationally important ways. They have low stamina and tendency to tire easily. They have possible low esteem, insecurity, embarrassment due to their physical limitations. Next disability is the visual impairments. Malfunctions of the eyes or optic nerve that prevent normal vision even with corrective lenses. The causes of visual impairments may be any congenital abnormalities in either eye or in the visual pathway to the brain. Following are the common characteristics of children with visual impairments. Normal functioning of the other senses like hearing, smelling, etc. They have fewer opportunities to experience and interact with outside world. They reduce capability to imitate others, inability to observe body language and other nonverbal cues of people leading to misperceptions of intended meanings. They have less knowledge about the conventions of written language. Next disability is hearing loss, malfunction of the ear and associated nerves that interfere with the perception of sounds. They have insufficient sensation to understand spoken language even with hearing aid. The following are the common characteristics of children with hearing loss: delayed language development, some ability to read lips, proficiency in sign language, less developed reading skills, less general knowledge about the world than their peers. And the last disability that under in the physical and sensory challenges and behavioral indicators is the severe and multiple disabilities. Having two or more of the disabilities described earlier and most probably require highly specialized services. Following are the common characteristics of children with severe and multiple disabilities: have varying degrees of intellectual functioning, limited awareness of surrounding stimuli and events. They have significant delays in motor development, mild or sensory impairments. They need an extensive medical needs. And the last disability is under in children with advanced cognitive development and behavioral indicators. This disability is giftedness. Unusually high ability or aptitude in any or more of the following areas: intellectual ability, aptitude in a specific academic field, creativity, visual or performing arts, or leadership. The following are the characteristics of gifted children. They are more advanced vocabulary, language, and reading skills. They are able to learn quickly and effective cognitive processing and metacognitive skills. They are highly motivated to achieve challenging tasks. They have positive self-concept, especially academic endeavors. They have above average social development and emotional adjustment. That's all. Thank you for watching and listening. Good day.